Hello, my friends. Yesterday, second drama of the World Cup, with France losing 0-2 to a wonderful team of Mexicans. But before you think that I'm going to do like all the media and shit and vomit blindly on this French team, I want to do an objective analysis. Good first half by the French, good first half by the Mexicans as well. The weaknesses on the French side were the defense. Number one, because Gallas and Abidal were not well aligned at all, were not having the mechanisms that you should have in central defense. That's one thing. The second thing in that first half is that the French were not holding their position. Anelka was supposed to play up front, he was playing in the midfield. Malouda was supposed on the left, 3/4 of the time he was everywhere and not on the left. And then Ribéry was touching the ball way too much, and I confirm that Ribéry is an overrated player. He's a very good player, but he's not world class, and he demonstrated that yesterday. So a lot of confusion in holding their position, but still a good half. Good first half by the French with intense pressure in the midfield to recuperate the ball very high. But the Mexicans, I would say, won this boxing game by a couple of points. In the second half, it was a different story. And this is another reason of why the French team lost. We cannot completely defend them. We cannot, because we saw indeed, because maybe of the efforts concentrated in the first half, but an extreme lack of combativity, which was really illustrated by how Evra gave up on this dribble of Barreto just before the penalty. It was really incredible to see one of the most fast, combative fullbacks let someone go like that without even trying to catch him and run for him. You must hate the defeat in these moments, and Evra didn't have that, and he's the captain, and that was the illustration of that lack of combativity. The confusion that we talked about in the first half continued, and this is why France lost against Mexico, a game that was played in details again. You know, this 2-0 is not like they lost 4-5-0. You know, we can't say that they're shameful to this point. Details, it could have been 0-0 without a scandal. Anyways, France is almost out. African teams, I'm really starting to get worried for African teams because, as I told you in prior episodes, I am not impressed so far. I know we can't put everyone in the same bucket, but there is a common trend there also of being quite slow, not very sharp in front of the goals as well. So African teams starting to get worried. And last thing I want to say about yesterday is don't rely on fancy, glamorous results in the first round. Yes, my Argentinian friends, you might have won 4-1 against South Korea. You might have offered a lot of a spectacle. However, you will meet Mexico and Uruguay in the 8th final. And that game, in one game, we can lose the World Cup. So when I hear again the media say, oh, formidable Higuaín, formidable Argentina, formidable Messi, this, that, don't rely too much on that. I wouldn't put my money yet on Argentina because their 8th final is going to be difficult. And we saw that how yesterday Mexicans, who on the paper might not seem as good as France, can destroy the hopes of a big football nation.